What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, I want to go ahead and talk about what I believe is the highest risk reward and most advantageous opportunity to be focusing on in the current markets. What is the trade that I am going to focus on from today to the end of 2024 throughout the whole entire month of December? What is the trade that I will be solely and laser focused on to take advantage of? That is what we're going to go ahead and talk about today. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. And to do this analysis today, we're going to have to go ahead and jump into the charts. So if you went ahead and guessed the SMH, the semiconductor sector, then you would be absolutely 100% spot on. I believe as of right now, the comeback trade on the semiconductors is something that has to be watched. This is the sector that I believe will either move the NASDAQ to new all-time highs aggressively and help the year close strong, or this is the sector that limits our upside, keeps us lower, and keeps the end of year pretty lackluster. Now, right now, I want to bet on the fact that the semiconductors wake up and that there's a move higher on the markets, and that is where I am placing my chips, right? That's where my money is going right now. My bet is that the SMH holds, moves higher, comeback trade comes alive. This helps the market to new highs, and we have a strong end of year based off of a comeback move on the semiconductors. There's a few signs of it today. Today is Monday, December 2nd, and there are already signs out there that some life is coming back. You finally have seen AMD wake up. You saw, of course, the SMH itself over 247. We'll go over that today in the technicals. NVIDIA had some life. ASML is coming back. This is a big comeback on ASML today after some pretty major downside. SMCI has got cleared as being not as sketchy as it once was by an independent accounting firm. We'll have to see how that sort of works out, but that is something that helped it higher today. TSM got back over 190. Big break there. Very interesting things and some life coming back in the semiconductors. Something I want to make sure I focus on. This could be the one and only trade that you need to take advantage of into end of year to finish the month and finish the year on a very strong note. If I can nail this SMH, if I can nail some surrounding semiconductor upside, I can end the year very strong and we can move on to 2025. Let's go ahead and break this down. So here is the daily chart on the SMH, and we can very clearly see the previous highs from back here in February of 2024. You guys can see right there, $237 per share was a major previous rejection. 237, 238, a major previous rejection on the SMH. Now let's move forward. Right here in April into May, we held above that level, creating upside towards the all-time highs of 283. Now, after hitting that 283, we failed. We broke under that 237, and we moved back down to, you guessed it, that 200 SMA area, which also lined up with that 213 demand, right? Right around that red line, you can see that red line running across your screen, and this is definitely going to come into play. You can see right here that 200 SMA holding around that 213 demand. Popped higher, came back down. Guess what? Another 200 SMA hold, creating an upside opportunity, right? If you long the SMH, both here, right, that would be a 20% return, and here, from to the highs, would be about a 22% return. Now, what is happening as we speak today on the SMH? We are seeing this previous major high at 237 and some of these very key major support levels in the short term over the last few months at 237 hold once again. Now, what else is at the 237 level? This time around, we have the uptrending 200 SMA holding as a low. And if we do a calculated move or a sort of measured move from this level, 20% takes you to guess what? All-time highs. Right here is a 20% move from the current levels, and that is $280 per share. So you beg, the question is asked, right? Can we get another 20% move off the 200 SMA? Can we get the same 20% move off the 200 SMA here at 237? 20% would bring us to that 283. Costco alert. So that is very much an interesting question, right? And that is very much a risk-reward opportunity that I want to pay attention to. Is longing the 200 SMA, once again, a very interesting long opportunity. Now, full transparency, I am already long, and I've been long since Friday of last week. Here's the Discord. Here are the trades I'm in, right? SMH, January 17, 235 call. This we entered on the 29th of November. That was last Friday. So I'm already long this position off the 200 SMA. But if you're not, I still think there's plenty of opportunity and something I would be paying attention to. So you can very clearly see when we zoom out to this daily chart how clear this analysis becomes. You have a very clear 238, 237 level. That was previous rejections, previous holds, failure points, holds, and holds, right? On top of that, we are looking at the 200 SMA sliding higher, right? Holding it here, and guess what? Holding it again here. Now, what I want to do is I want to break this down onto the hourly chart and talk a little bit about this right here. And this right here is actually something that makes me more confident for longs. This right here, my friends, is called a liquidity grab. And a liquidity grab happens when there's not enough liquidity to get the market higher. And so what it needs to do is it needs to drop down below, pick up some short sellers, pick up some new buyers, right? Get some volume into the trade, fake traders out. Basically, it just needs to fake people out. That's in the simplest terms of a liquidity grab. And you guys know me. I like to dumb things down. And some people might be in the comments, technically, that's not what a liquidity grab is, blah, 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 blah. I don't care what you're going to say it is. To me, what it is and what it truly means at the core is that it needs to fake people out. And that right there is exactly what it did on Wednesday of last week. It faked out a ton of shorts, right? That it squeezed below that 200, failed under that 237, 238 level, faking out everyone that was short exposed under that level and ripping back higher, squeezing them back out, right? That right there is called a liquidity grab. And that actually makes me more bullish, right? Because I know that we refueled the longs after that type of move. This is what I also like to call, if you guys come in, hang out with me, if you're part of the group, I like to call that the alfalfa, right? That's the alfalfa move. You guys know alfalfa, right? That's a little alfalfa, right? You know the hair sticking up. That's what that is right there. And when I see that, I get confident for that reversal move. And so that happened right off that major 237 and right off that 200 SMA. Extremely, extremely interesting for the upside continuation. Now, there are some levels above that I want to make sure you are paying attention to see if this can truly continue. And the first one that you should be paying attention to is something that is holding right now as we speak and as this market closes today, and that is $247 per share. You can see right here we had previous major fails at 247, creating, once it held, creating upside, right? Now right here, we had that 247 attempt to hold. Once it failed, creating downside, right? An influential point on the market, on the SMH. Now, once again, 247 here, all of last week, right? Rejecting that level and bringing us back down into the 237. Guess what? What's happening today? Look at the 30-minute chart and take a look at what's happening today. That exact 247 level that rejected here and here and here and here last week has turned into a short-term low. Look at the market today. Look at the 247 level. Look at the level turning into support here into end of day, December 2nd, Monday. Right now it's 3:38 p.m. Look at the daily 20 SMA and the 247 level turning into a low. And if that holds as a low, where you previously had major rejections, that is a very bullish flip on the SMH that could absolutely drive this higher. In my opinion, first target would be this 254 to 257 level, right? I would be targeting this zone up here if we can continue to hold that 247, the previous rejection highs into support. That, my friends, is a break and retest long all day. if we can continue to hold above that 20 SMA. Let's go ahead and flip through some semiconductors today, right? Number one, TSM. Look at this move on TSM today, over 190. That is a very strong move on TSM. A must-watch here as well, right? The TSM possibly targeting back at that 206. TSM, major hold over 190, a must-watch here today. NVIDIA, a stock that's slightly weak today, but I think has a lot of opportunity here after creating, in my opinion, what looks to be an inverse head and shoulder at these lows, right? You can see right here, NVIDIA creating, in my eyes, an inverse head and shoulder right off around this 138 level, ultimately looking to target around this 143.50. Slightly underperforming today, but something I would continue to watch. AMD, finally finding some strength today, right? After holding this 136.50, take a look at the holds over 140 and look at the strength off the 20 SMA today. Another semiconductor showing strength. ASML, a stock that took a major hit on earnings, starting to creep back, right? Having a nice day, up 3.8%. SMCI, you guys know a stock that was in the shitter, up 28% today. Interesting move. So you're definitely starting to see some life come into this semiconductor sector off that 200 SMA, off that 237 level. And at this point, we just need to track the next levels, and we need to see if these holds continue to come in. For now, it's going to be 247. If that SMH can hold over 247, I am still very confident in this analysis. If we fail back below it, it's going to take longer, right? If we fail back below it, we're going to trade back within this zone. The analysis is still correct as long as you're over the 200 SMA, but you would like to start seeing the stair-stepping upside come in, right? You don't want to see us fail back under that 247 in the short term. If we do fail back below that, then I'm going to say it probably slows down, and maybe this is a trade that takes longer than originally expected, but still a very interesting opportunity. If we see that 247 really hold strong, then I think this could start to work out in the short term towards that 257. So overall, guys, I want to make this clear. These opportunities do not come around every day in the market. You need to have a bigger picture mindset here. You cannot trade this on the 2-minute chart and exit because the 2-minute candle went down. If you trade this type of daily chart analysis and you take Friday 0DT expiration contracts, you are going to get screwed, okay? That is just simply what it is. If you're going to trade SMH off the 200 SMA and stay confident here on a game plan, on a structured idea, you are taking at minimum January contracts, January monthlies at minimum, February's, March's, April's, right? You're looking for this to work out into the start of next year. This is not something that I think works out into Friday and you're going to be slamming 0DTE contracts all day. That is not this trade at all. This is something that does not come around very often. Take a look at this daily chart. The SMH only hit the 200 SMA 2 times the entire year, right? If we go back to this entire year, the last time that we hit the 200 SMA was in August and was here in July, and we touched it again here just last week. 3 times you were able to long the SMH off the 200 SMA this year. 3 times. Doesn't come around that often. You need to build a game plan with confidence if you're going to trade something like this. You cannot go back and forth on a daily basis because of a 1-minute candle. SMH long, that's where I'll be at probably the entire month of December. We'll see what happens. Wanted to give you an update. Best of luck on this trade idea. Nothing is guaranteed. No trade is for sure. Risk management is still intact. Risk what you're willing to lose. Watch this. This is important. If this heats up, I would assume the NASDAQ heats up. I would assume we have a strong end of year. Let's see what happens. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to trade live with me and trade along this trade with me, go ahead and check out the Discord down below. This is the last day of discounts, Cyber Monday. Use code Monday for 25% off. Feel free to check it out. See you in the next one. Peace.